Hey everybody, this is Melina from scrapbookingwithme.com, and I wanted to show y'all, I've had some viewer requests for this, so I decided I would make a video about it, and I hope that it helps you. I had some questions about when you make clusters, and y'all have seen me make many clusters, and I will leave some links in the description box below of some of the clusters I have made, and a lot of them have been with my Scrapbusters stuff. But when you make clusters, and that's just some scrap paper that you put together, layer up, and make little cute, I like to call them little bundles, little nuggets that you make, and you can use them throughout your journals. Now you could use clusters in many ways. I've got about 10 ideas written down here for you, and actually it's in my phone. Let me open it up. And let me see here we go. One of the first ways you could use it is if you had a big enough one, you could make it the focal point of the front of your journal. So any kind of bigger, more see, that would be so pretty. I love just making them the book plate or the focal point of my journals. And that is the main way that I use clusters, is just as decoration. Y'all have heard me say it many times when I'm doing a video and I make something and somebody asks me the question, well, what do you use that for? Everything you make for your journal does not have to be functional. You know what this main purpose of this thing is right here is to be pretty. Everything does not have to be functional. It can just be a pretty little detail that you add to your journals. So any type of decoration. But then there's also page edges. You can glue it onto the edge like this, and then when you close your journal, that's going to be peeking out from your pages, and that just gives you some dimension and some interest coming out from the pages instead of it all just being flat. Just like a tab or a clip does, you could do a cluster out to the edge as a page edge, just like that. You could also, while it's sitting like this, not glue the whole thing down and just glue it here, and then you could have a space where you could tuck something. So that's another thing that you can do with clusters, is make them a little tuck. So you can put it at the very bottom of your journal page and just glue on the bottom and the side, and it could be your little tuck space. That is gorgeous, just like that. So great tucks clusters make. Another way is making little dangles with them. So don't even put all the little pieces together like a traditional cluster would be. Just get you a bulb clip and then just punch a hole through all the little pieces and put them in and make little dangles with them. So we're coming up with what? This is like 11 different ways that you can use clusters in your journal. So this cluster, I put a paper clip at the top and made it a paper clip. You can also do them where they are hidden paper clips. So I'll try to find one where it's hidden on the back like this. I layered up a couple of pieces and the paper clip is on the inside. That was the hidden paper clips 2 ways video that I've got. It's like my most popular video on my channel. So you can add paper clips to the back. I was going to see if I had one where you could actually see the clip on the back of it. So that's some layered up stuff in a pocket, and it's got the paper clip on the back of it there. I like doing the banner clusters with the paper clips at the top. That's very classy looking. And like I said, I'll try to post all of these links in the description box below. There's another little bundle. So all the clusters with just a word label that I typed out on my typewriter. And then instead of gluing everything together, I just put it on a bulb clip and put it on that way. And then these banner clips with the paper clip at the top, you would just slide them on just like that. Great way to accent the edge of your page. And you could even slide in things back behind it, and it's like a little tuck too. So it's like a 2-for-1 with the paper clips at the top like that. And all I did, and like I said, I will link the video in the description box below, but all I did was fold over some paper, cut it in a banner, and then slid it over the bottom of a paper clip, and then just decorated it like I wanted to. And Lila's going crazy because Bethany just got home from college, so she's going a little wacko in there. Hi, my darling.
Hello.
So we will do a little paper clip cluster real quick like. So I just got a little square of paper from my scrap pile. And then this little collage paper's got some wording on it. Put that on there somewhere. Some more wording on this one. I'll rip it and put it on there somewhere. Kind of like that. And then we need a little pop of color and maybe a little design of some kind. Let's do this little rose at the bottom like that. I know I'm at the very bottom of your screen. Sorry, let me pull it up some. So kind of like this and like this, and then do an embellishment, some kind of like die cut or something in the middle there. I think I will put this little faux stamp. And these faux sticker stamps come from 49 and Market. This is Nature Study. We have those in the shop. I will ink this just a little bit and maybe add a label. Let us see. If I add that there, I think we can get that done. Let me just ink these pieces all the way around with some walnut stain ink. And then one easy way to make this little cluster a hidden paper clip is to put down just a little scrap piece of paper where you want that paper clip to go. And I'm just going to glue on 2 sides. Put this piece of paper down on the back here. So now it's just glued on this side and that side. And I'm going to get my paper clip and put the shortest little loop down over that piece of paper. And sometimes that's a little bit difficult just because the paper clips are so well made. There we go. Now that paper clip is on there, and then I put just a little dab of glue at the top after I get it molded back into the shape it was meant to be in. And then get a little bit of fabric glue and put at the top of this paper clip, and that's just going to hold it in place. And then when it's dry, we're going to pretend that it is. When it's dry, that big loop is ready to go onto your journals and things. Of course, you can pop it on there even further after it's dry. I would like to get it on there so I can show y'all how far down it goes. There we go. but it's not dry, so I'm taking it off before it gets glued onto my page. But that is one of the easiest ways to put on a paper clip onto a piece of cluster and make it a hidden paper clip. But I have lots and lots and lots of other videos showing you how to do that. So on this one's not particularly a cluster. It's just some paper that I folded back and made a little side tuck pocket. But the paper clip is kind of embedded into the cluster, and one loop is on the inside and then the other larger loop is on the outside. So you get that by getting a scrap piece, folding it in thirds like this. Of course I wouldn't make this because it's got that torn there. And then you would open up that third and do your paper clip, tiny piece on the inside, and then fold it over, fold it over. You've got your paper clip on the back. Let's just pretend like this is not there. And then you would just decorate that up and you would have yourself a little cluster with a paper clip on the back, and glue all that down, glue these together, and you've got a hidden paper clip. Easy, easy. All right, so we have covered just using them as decoration, just using clusters as decoration. We have covered making them dangles. We have covered making them hidden paper clips, or even top loading paper clips, so it's a side load on your page. We have covered making them tucks, so you're just gluing them down on two sides and make them a tuck. We've covered using them as page edges, just on the edge of your page as decoration and having something sticking out on the edge there. Another way is if you just have a plain pocket. So this was a library pocket. It came with just this and the library card in it. This I added later. So I made this little cluster and then I just glued it down here on the pocket part so that the library card was still free to come in and out. But you can just dress up a pocket. It doesn't even have to be a library pocket. You can just dress up any pocket you want. Let's find another one. See, like this secretarial pocket in the back here has just got the pattern that came on the paper collection, and we could put another little cluster here if we wanted to. I've got these ticket clusters. One of those would be cute on there too. Oh, is that a little, yep, that looks like a porcupine or something right there, hugging its mama. But that's another little collage cluster ticket there. And just add a cluster to a pocket for decoration, just to dress up a pocket, because there's all kinds of pockets that we add to journals, and sometimes we lose the mojo and we're like, I don't even know what to add to this pocket to dress it up, so I'm not going to do anything. But if you already had some clusters made up, so this pocket is very, very dressed up already, but if it was plain, we could add a cluster on there to dress it up. Here's another way. This is one of those collage clustered journal cards, and we made it a tuck and just glued it down on three sides, and then we've got another cluster inside that pocket. So great ways to use clusters is to use them on your existing pockets that you have in your journals. If you are making little scrap notebooks, so you just put a bunch of scraps together and put a folded over piece of scrap over the top of it, and then get whatever you would like to close it up. I like using my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and then we're just going to cut off this excess of the topper like that. And then you've got this plain topper that you've made, and you could put a cluster on the top of it. If you put a little piece of cardstock across the top, get that dressed up just a little bit that way, trim it up, glue this piece on, ink it just a little bit, and then there, and then add on your cluster here. And that's just another way that you can use up some of your smaller clusters, is to cover up that little band at the top and just dress up your scrap notepad some. Ooh, I like that. I like all the layers. And then, you know, you can write on this, you can flip it up, you can write on these, you can tear them out if you want to. That's just one way. If you have long pieces of scrap paper and you don't know how to use them, get out some of your clusters. I'm going to get this one and find a pretty empty page, which this is my personal journal. I've already started writing in it. Here's a cluster here that I just added onto that page as decoration after I was done writing on it. So if we have this page here and we want to dress it up just a little bit more, we can fold over this long piece. I think this might have been like 6 inches long. We can fold over this long piece, add a cluster there, and then just flap it over. We would glue that on, flap it over, so you've got some space back here to decorate on if you want to. Glue that cluster on. It's a little something to see at the top of your journal. And you could even clip this in if you wanted to, if you didn't want to glue the cluster on. And you could even add the cluster even lower if you wanted to, and then just clip it in there instead of gluing it onto the piece. So a little folded over flap on that we add to our journal. If you have a plain tag that needs a little dressing up, you could add just some inking around the edges and add a cluster to the front. Ink all around and glue that cluster on there, and then add you a little topper, some string or something out of the top of it, and your tag is instantly dressed up. And it was just because you had some clusters made. Let's find a different one here. I know all y'all are tired of seeing that one cluster. Let's go to another cluster, Melina. This one's a little smaller. Add it off to the edge of that and add some paper back behind it if we wanted to. Make it a larger cluster. Easy. So add to the fronts of plain tags, add your clusters. That dresses those tags up so much. Going right along with the page edge cluster I was talking about, if you wanted to do a top tuck corner accent, you could just put you some glue here and here, and then add your cluster like this, and you could have a top tuck, top corner cluster, and then you could see it from the outside of your journal like that. Easy way to use them. If you have some pre-made envelopes, you can use your clusters on them also. You can just glue it on the bottom here and it would hold the flap closed. And then you would just have the bottom of it adhered and then you could close the flap again, or you could attach it to the top of the flap, to the flap itself, and it could just be in a little embellishment on your envelope flap. Also, if you don't have envelopes in your stash, you can make your own. Just get some coffee dyed paper, and let's get some that's not torn on the edge, Melina. Coffee dyed paper. Now I've got a lot of videos on how to tea stain and coffee stain pages and papers. So you can make your own little envelope. You could cut this in half and make it even smaller if you wanted to. Just fold up and then have enough for a flap at the top. Fold down. And then you would just glue here and here. Okay. And then that could be your little embellishment on your flap of the envelope that you've made, or you could pull it down and just glue here at the bottom, and it could keep the flap closed for you either way. So that's a great way. I have a lot of wind going on, it sounds like. That scared me. That was either somebody trying to get into my house or one of my porch decorations was flapping in the wind, and that's what it was. Whew. It did though. That scared me for just a second. Oh me. All right, we got the envelope idea covered. How about we go to cards? If you are not into making journals, if you make cards, then this is another way you could use up some clusters if you've made some from your card leftovers, little scraps you have after you make some cards. So this is some 3x6 cardstock. I'm just folding it in half and making a little 3x3 card. Cute little size for a note or sentiment or something like that. And then you can add your cluster to the outside of it. A lot of your clusters are going to be this size, but you can make whatever size you want cluster and even put it on the larger cards. But a cluster can be an instant card front. That is gorgeous, and I do believe I'm going to leave that one on there. I think I'll just go ahead and glue it on there since it's so pretty, and make ourselves an instant card front all dressed up, and it'll have somewhere to go when we put it in the mail or attach it to a gift. And this is October, so holidays are coming up, and it's never too early to think of gift giving and going ahead and making your tags and embellishments and things. So here is your little card right in there. Make yourself a little envelope for it, or just attach it to a gift by punching a hole in the edge there. And you could even, if you're not into card making, make this a little fold over flap to add to your journal. Look how pretty that is. So a 3x6 piece of paper, and we've just folded it in half and then added a cluster onto the front of it. And then we could have this for extra journaling space in our journal too. Or like I said, use it as a card and put it in the mail, or a little gift card to add to a wrapped present. So I hope that this video has helped you realize a few more things, kind of new stuff to use your clusters with and on and in. Because I've had a lot of questions about, well, Melina, I love the clusters and they're very pretty, but what do you even use them on? So I like that I'm able to show you guys that kind of stuff and the ways that I use them. Most of the time though, mine are used as decoration, and I just love those top paper clip ones. I just use them as decoration. Some of the larger ones I will use as tucks, but most of the time it's just as decoration. And that's what a cluster is for. You're using up some scraps and you are making all kinds of ready-made embellishments. They're already ready for you. Have them organized in a box somewhere, and then that way when you need some kind of decoration, some kind of ephemera, you've already got your own handmade ephemera made from scraps from your little scrap pile that you have. And mine needs to be used up big time. I've got some larger, longer scraps that I really need to use quickly. So clusters may be in my future because that's one of the fastest ways to use up your scraps in your scrap pile. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Bye, y'all.